Good morning, everyone. A few months ago, I opened my laptop to read and explore interesting topics about algorithms. And I found that my feed already knew what I was looking for. Not what I clicked or searched, but it knows exactly what I was thinking of. It has my thoughts. And my feed was changing gradually, showing me a more clear version of my interest. So I wasn't just studying algorithms. It felt that they were also studying me at the same time. Actually, these algorithms don't understand people the way we think they do. They track things like hesitation, repetition, or interaction. They learn from where we click, where we pause, and they connect the dots, translating it into a pattern of data where thousands of small behavioral signals are analyzed and connected. Then it builds a mirror self, or an algorithmic reflection, a data-based reflection of you built from patterns, not personality, that begins to shape everything that you see. And yes, we always have concerns about its transparency, but to be honest, without this personalization, the use of the internet is going to be very overwhelming for us. But who's in control here? And this is when I started thinking, so if the algorithm learns from what works, who builds what works in the first place? Designers do. Because most of what we experience in this digital world comes to us through visuals. My background is in visual design, communication, and graphics, and I use a lot of very simple design elements to build visuals. I can use specific colors to trigger emotions, shape how a message feels before it's understood, grab your attention, or let something fade into the background. Colors can feel calming or overwhelming. They can signal urgency or comfort. And I can use typography to shape different meanings, to set the tone before you start reading the message. I can guide readability or attention through the size, weight, or spacing of the text. Only from different type design, the same exact sentence can feel serious or playful based on how it is designed. And I can use hierarchy to guide what you notice first, to see what matters first, what to read next, and how to move through the information, to tell your brain where exactly to focus without effort, to read the title and then the subtitle, for example, to get your eyes follow a path that was very well designed. And I can use motion graphics to trigger a lot of cognitive responses. Something as simple as a loading bar makes you feel like a progress is happening, like you should wait a little bit longer. This small motion creates a sense of anticipation and expectation. Think of that story that popped up on your Instagram, the one that took you to a website, and within a few minutes, you found yourself checking out of a shopping cart. But you can't even remember what brought you there in the first place. You were just on Instagram for a moment to relax. But one scroll leads to another. A timer pops up pushing urgency, and a banner pops next, only a few left. And before you know it, you're at the checkout. Actually, a very creative designer made each step, the colors, the pacing, the urgency, in a very smart sequence. So it was structured, and it didn't happen by accident. You're at the checkout of a shopping cart because the designer helped you to get there. And it doesn't stop here. That reel you shared with a friend, the one that brought back a memory that you hadn't touched in years. A very smart designer made it too. He understood how nostalgia works and how a single sentence paired with the right image can trigger a lot of emotions. The color grading and the music that came up at the exact right moment, none of that was accidental. A designer made that moment trying to make you stop scrolling. And go back to your saved reels list. Those reels that grabbed your attention, you didn't just watch, you saved them. Because something about them stayed with you. Maybe it was the first few seconds. A bold line that felt that it was speaking directly to you. Maybe it was the pacing, the way each moment flowed into the next, or the colors, the music, or the feeling. It just clicked, you saved, that wasn't random, a designer was behind it. So, as a designer, I can design a message that strongly resonates with the viewers. Only from color, text, hierarchy, or some motion graphics? Yes, we can design emotions. Because designers, we understood and learned the psychology behind every pixel. So every design that works teaches the algorithms what works. When people pause, stop, or react, the algorithm remembers, not the intention, just the effect. And this means that I'm not just a visual designer, but I'm teaching the machines how to influence you. And that changes everything. Because design here is a decision that shapes how people respond to what they see. And those responses or behaviors are what the algorithms learn from. But I can't actually control those algorithms as a designer, but at least I can control what I feed into it. So I'm responsible. And I have a lot of decisions and choices that I can do here. I can choose to design for persuasion, to persuade and guide people without manipulating them. And I can choose to design for clarity, helping people understand and giving them the space to decide, instead of creating fake urgency or pushing them to act fast before they have the time to think. And I can design for trust, building something honest, something that respects the person on the other side, instead of looking for the reactions or clicks without real value. I can choose to feed this algorithm with a lot of ethical choices, because as a visual designer, I'm the beginning of this loop. But what matters most is that this is not only about designers. Every one of us, no matter our profession, we all touch this digital world in some way. Everyone leaves traces, we all shape the system, we all contribute to what it learns. So we all share the same responsibility. We have choices and decisions to make, each and every one of us. And that's why my talk today does not end with a full stop. It ends with a question mark to each and every one of you. How can you do the same in your profession? How can you make ethical choices in your own field, knowing that your actions might feed into a system that affects millions? Or in other words, what are you teaching the systems every day without realizing it? And what kind of patterns do you want those systems to learn from you? Because whether you want it or not, you're responsible here. Thank you for listening.